Thank you for being here and welcome back to the Kansas City Commercial Real Estate Market Pulse. And thanks to our sponsors, Midwest Commercial Real Estate Advisors. We appreciate them always sponsoring our show and showing up and making this all possible. So very much appreciate Midwest Commercial Real Estate Advisors and the sponsors of the show. And, just so you guys understand and what we do on a regular basis is we're not just here talking about commercial real estate on this show. We are out in the marketplace delivering top-notch service and results to our clients. Additionally, I just found out that Midwest Commercial Real Estate Advisors is now showing up in AI search when you search for commercial real estate in Kansas City. And that is a testament to our team bringing market intelligence and up-to-date insights and news and information on the Kansas City commercial real estate market. And it takes a lot of time and effort to do that. So I want to shout out to our team, Katie Cobb Sullivan with our brokerage growth and operations, Micah doing work on the retail, multifamily, and land side, Nathan highly focused on flex industrial. But if you are a business needing more space, he is one of the better tenant rep brokers out there in the industry. We're doing a lot of that work. So if you're looking to expand or move, definitely reach out to us. We do have space for lease and for sale on the flex industrial side of things. Chad Kagi is our broker on the healthcare side. So if you are looking to expand your medical practice, you need a build-to-suit opportunity, or if you're looking for a new leasing situation, he is your guy. And today I'm joined by Nick Morales, who's our Director of Business Development, focused on a lot of our new-to-market development opportunities, historic readaptive use projects. If it's unique, if it's creative, and it takes some insight, Nick is your guy. Nick, how are you doing today?
Doing well. How about you?
Doing fantastic. We're sitting here in Kansas City, Missouri proper, and the weather here is always unpredictable. And I had no idea it was supposed to rain today. Yep. And I look out the window and it's dark and it's raining. So how about that? But what do they always say about the Midwest weather? If you don't like it, just wait an hour. So that's really about all you have to do. So no, it's cruising here in Kansas City. I saw your post today on the platform on LinkedIn, and Kansas City, jumped in as I think the 11th. What was it? The top 11.
Number 11.
What was the list for though?
Just basically growth as far as incoming population, and they went a little bit further into the average income for incoming people, and then also the average home sale price. So it's good data.
Fantastic. Lots of cities out there, in Kansas City on the 11th. Look, guys, there's a lot of different markets inside of Kansas City, right? I mean, we've got Kansas, we've got Missouri. I live on the Missouri side of Leawood, so just so you know that doesn't exist, but I am on the Missouri side of Leawood, South Kansas City. And that, crossing the street from Missouri to Kansas, the market changes rapidly, right? Yep. The demographics change, the schools change, the rents on office change. I mean, it's unbelievable. We've got an office listing down on the Missouri side with rents around $15 a foot, and you go just a half mile west where KBP Foods is, and I guarantee you that rent's $25, $35, $40 a foot, literally a baseball throw away if you're like me and won the long toss as a preschooler. So anyways, let's get into it, right? Let's talk a little bit. We got to have a little fun on the show. This is our 30th episode, and
that's awesome.
Thank you all for all of the comments, the questions, the love, the sharing of this show. It really does take a lot of time and effort to put the information together, to stay consistent, and to bring the market insights that we are. But, that's our goal, is to cut through the noise and give you really actionable intelligence on what's really happening in the commercial real estate space, especially here in Kansas City. And today we've got a deal spotlight, which is a new segment that we started earlier this year, bringing to market all of our projects so that you can ask questions to us live. So a little bit of housekeeping. If you have a question on the project that we're going to be talking about today, which is the Hoke Building Historic Readaptive Use Project in Hutchinson, Kansas, make sure to drop us a comment either on LinkedIn or on YouTube. We have those being monitored, and we will be watching and we will be answering those questions live. But 30 episodes in, many deals positioned well, many deals sold utilizing this tool and getting awareness out about Kansas City and about commercial real estate here. You know, I have been recently listening to a decent amount of kind of podcasts in regards to the commercial real estate industry, talking to brokers and investors across the country, mostly here in the Midwest. And, you know, everybody's sentiment is really starting to change positively. And, you know, I don't know necessarily why. You know, not a whole lot has, you know, changed, but I just think that we're getting more used to this new normal of where interest rates are. Tariffs have kind of, you know, either come and gone or they're still there, but everybody understands maybe the impact of those or lack thereof. And I think people are getting more confident in their ability to, you know, really close on real estate transactions. And we highlighted this in one of our email newsletters here recently, but, you know, we had 6 closings in July. We got a couple more here in August, September, October, November, already looking to be extremely busy month. And you listening here will be on that because you're going to buy the Hoke building, the historic readaptive use project in Hutchinson, Kansas. If you are a developer looking for an opportunity zone, if you specialize or are interested in historic tax credits, we've got a deal for you here today. So with that being said, make sure to drop your comments and questions into the chat bots, either on LinkedIn or on YouTube. We're monitoring those and would love for you to ask us some questions. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Nick Morales to talk about this great opportunity that we've got here in Hutchinson, Kansas. So Nick, take it away.
All right, so we'll kind of keep it high level, but the Hoke is a unique offering down in downtown Hutchinson. The building was originally built in 1910. They have gone through, the current developers have gone through process as far as getting everything approved with the city for a boutique hotel, which would consist of 23 suites. So, and then on the main floor, they would have 2 retail or restaurant spaces. So that's the design that's been approved thus far through the city. So there's about $2 million left in reno for incoming developer. But the interesting thing about that is with the $2 million that's up still left as far as to finish the project, as of July 1, the tax credits increased. So it's up to 60% now, which that would be 20 federal and 40 state as far as the tax incentives that could be tied to the project. So getting into a little bit more of the specifics, building's about 16,000 square feet, 16,500. The build out, like I said, is about 20 or 30% complete of the 23 suites. And the zoning is for C5. So we don't, no rezoning or anything like that was needed to get the building into current shape. So 4 stories, it does come with an off-street parking lot that's adjacent to it. And like I said, the tax credits now are about 60% on that side. Anything you want to add there? Or?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go down another slide or 2.
You bet.
So you'll get to see a picture of the exterior and the interior as well. So the 30%, everything is structurally done inside as far as the rebuild. All the electrical, all the utilities are in place. So the only thing, obviously not the only thing, but they're down the line as far as the interior remodel as well. As you can see, the exterior was done to maintain the historic aspect of the building. So everything exterior wise is completed and it looks great. I mean, it's a great looking building down there. So now getting in, if you want to go down one more. So you've got about 39,000 people in Hutch. Average household income is about 58, almost 59,000. So total in proximity for the metropolitan is about 61,000, give or take. So the interesting thing about Hutch is, and we'll get into this a little bit more on the next couple slides, but the Kansas State Fair is a very big draw for them down there. which you can read. It comes with 328,000 people on average into Hutchinson. And what's close by in proximity, excuse me, there in downtown Hutch it's right down the street from the historic Fox Theater, which pulls in big regional events at the theater. There's also some breweries and a couple of other nice additions to the city down there. The main thing that I wanted to point out, which isn't in here, there's a $15 million redevelopment of it's 81 units, and it will come with an entertainment kind of district to it that's literally within a couple blocks of the hotel to help drive more activity downtown and whatnot. So you can see through some of the employment sectors, Hutchinson Regional Medical Center, if I could speak, it might help, is downtown there. And then you've also got Siemens with a big manufacturing plant. And then as far as on the energy side, you've got Coke and then Hutchinson Salt. Tyson Krupp has a big facility there as well. And then if we go down a little bit, some of the big drivers here. So the Kansas State Fair is a big draw. Like I said, about 325,000 people with close to 75 million in economic impact. So it's a very good draw for the city and draws a lot of activity from overnight stays and everything that you can glean from that. So the other big draw is the NJCAA, so the Junior College Athletics Association. They have several events there throughout the year between basketball and volleyball. The interesting thing about this is it generates almost 1,300 nights of stays down there, and with about close to 800 of those being in Hutchinson specifically. So the interesting thing about that is that there is nothing downtown that is anywhere close to this from a boutique offering. You've got your national chains, which are you name it, they're there as far as a smaller setting, which they average anywhere from 120 to some of them are as high as 250 a night for your national chains. So the boutique offering of this is really, really unique. The other thing that I'll mention is that there are two other historic hotels that were built down there in the early 1900s. Both of those have been renovated into multifamily options down there. So truly a unique experience down there as far as nothing else from a boutique offering or, that's not a major hotel with a, I say cookie cutter approach to the amenities there. So
Yeah.
really,
What I think is interesting is, yes, it's a smaller market, right? 40,000 people or so, but they have a decent amount of tourism that is coming in to the city. 328,000 visitors annually alone for the Kansas State, right? And there's just a lot of different drivers. And I think that when you have one of the cooler properties that people want to go visit and you're next to the Fox Theater and you have these big tourism drivers that have been there for years and aren't going anywhere,
no.
You almost have the ability to forecast kind of some of these bigger events and be able to really kind of pro forma out what your revenues are going to be able to qualify. So very cool opportunities there. And it's good for a hospitality individual that, or investor that is looking for that. This is exactly the type of stuff that they're asking for is, what's driving the tourism into the area, right? And I think that you think about it, we've got, I think 23 buildings or 23 rooms, right? Yep. 23 rooms on this property. Like you can keep that pretty dang full on a regular basis. And I think the other thing you can probably really market to is business travel, right? When people travel, yes, they like to get their points at the big places, but I have found through owning, real estate similar to this on the Country Club Plaza, if you build up that base of people who are visiting for business and you build those relationships and you have a pretty custom experience, people are willing to stay really loyal for that experience. So very cool stuff happening over in Hutchinson, Kansas. Now, Nick, I want to talk about some of the, development highlights, right? There's like a triple stack of incentives on this deal. So let's talk through those, man.
Okay. So with the project being about 30% completed, obviously everything is, as you can read here, the stamped architectural prints are all approved. The interesting thing is you've got the federal tax credits, then you've got the state tax credits, and then depending on what they pursue from a development aspect, you could get different variety of tax abatements layered onto that as well. So there are a lot of incentives that are being thrown out there for the redevelopment, especially with the historic tax credits, and then also because it's a qualified opportunity zone. So you've got, it's a really, you've got multiple layers, which make it really interesting, especially from our standpoint. So it's not so cut and dry. So it can really go a couple different ways as far as the development aspect of things to make it a unique offering for the right development.
Absolutely. And I think the most important thing in this, yes, having historical tax credits, yes, potentially if you're looking to do a readaptive use to multifamily, going to the RHID route, but being an opportunity zone, all of those help. But the city has, I mean, there's active support for downtown revitalization efforts, right? I mean, there is a lot of support for this project to get completed, as they know how beneficial it will be to the downtown. So when you're working with a municipality who is collaborative and wants to see it done, you're going to have the ability to really put your layered approach on in regards to this development. And we both know that all developers that we're working with right now are asking, you know, what type of incentives are there to be able to get this deals done, right? Because most developments need some sort of incentive. So lots of layered approaches here that you can take. And just to reiterate as well, you know, you've got approved architectural plans, right? So if you are a contractor, you are well-versed in construction, you're a hospitality operator, being able to step into a deal that you could probably get done this year sometime, right? If you get started, you could get done this year and hit 2026 with the ground running. What a cool opportunity to be able to step into. Very, very nice. So yeah, I just wanted to add that into that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it's like I said, it's a unique offering in the fact that it's 30% done, and the multiple layers of incentives that are being thrown at this project make it truly unique.
Absolutely. All right. In regards to the location, maybe just talk a little bit about kind of where we're at, and then this adjacent parking lot, which I think is really important for anybody who's interested in doing this development.
Well, as you can see, the highlighted in red is the actual building, the Hoke building there, and then the adjacent parking is right there. So unique offering downtown with both of those being put together. And I'm trying to remember off the top of my head how many parking spots, but I want to say it was 28 if I remember correctly. But anyway, the close by proximity things, Fox Theater, you've got new amphitheater, it's not too far from there, but then the Landmark Hotel is about a half mile from there, if I remember that correctly. And then the farmers market's also within a few blocks of there as well. So a lot of activities that they're putting in downtown to revitalize it and make it better for the downtown area there. So
yeah, you know, I mean, you think about trying to just do a little getaway, right? Hutch is definitely one of those places where people are like, man, where can I go, where I can drive and have kind of one of those, you know, just getaways in Kansas City area, right? And having the farmers market and the different demand drivers that we've already talked about in regards to tourism, it does attract a lot of people, and being able to be a cool boutique experience to be able to service those individuals throughout the year, I think is a really nice addition to this property.
Well, definitely. And, you know, as we've entered the realm of having a collegiate soccer player and family, and she's at the junior college level, it will be interesting if this will be finished by the time that we are forced to go down there. It would definitely be it would be on my radar, because staying at the smaller big box, if you call it that, the bigger hoteliers, I would much rather stay at a boutique than something like that. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it'll be done by then. But I'm trying to think where we're going next with that. I kind of jumped in on that. So
yeah, no worries. Let's talk through the highest and best use case scenarios. I mean, it doesn't necessarily just have to be a hotel, right? What else could you maybe, you know, convert this into?
So with the mixed use, so if it was converted to strictly apartments, You've got 3 floors that you can convert to about 14 units of 1 and a 2-bedroom mix over the ground floor restaurant bar, keeping that design on the main floor consistent with that. The average downtown there is right in line with $1.45 per square foot. So then they could take advantage of the RHID component to add another layer in there for to help offset some costs from a development standpoint. But then also from if they happen to go that route, then they could look at the short-term rentals and co-working and things of that nature to help capitalize on incoming professionals, as you were saying, executives, so on and so forth. They're down in the area. So creates a lot of opportunity based upon what the developer really wants to come in and set forth with that downtown area.
One of the things too that we've seen is, some folks might want more of a short-term rental, right? So maybe you do some apartments and then you have some short-term rentals. If you think that having, only 5 to 6 rooms on the hospitality side or short-term rental side and having some long-term rentals in there could be a benefit, I think that's an interesting hybrid approach that you could definitely take here on this project. So, in regards to the multifamily side, I think it's between, we've gone back and forth on this. It's between 14 and 20 units, right? We're not going to tell you exactly how many units you can get in this building, but it's 16,500 square feet. We got about 13,000 net rentable square foot. We already talked about kind of the historical tax credits as well. I think that, as I think about doing this type of creative deal, having multiple exit strategies is very beneficial, right? If you go in and get a project like this done and you still have, the coolness factor of this project, and you've taken some of the risk and maybe even taken some of the benefits of the incentives, you're taking that off the table. There are people out there looking for unique opportunities like this, especially one-off 1031 exchange investors who are looking for something that's a little outside of the box, right? Like, there are investors a lot of times that want something that cool factor that they can say, hey, let's all fly down to Kansas City and go stay over in Hutchinson in my hotel that I own. It's just one of those deals where we have found that to be actual driver for some investors in regards to that. So, there's immediate value capture here, right? We can step into a project with approvals, with the infrastructure, with multiple layers of incentives, and you have the ability to have a historical building in downtown Hutchinson and be a part of kind of a really cool downtown revitalization. So very, very unique opportunity. And, frankly, we're pretty surprised with the amount of activity that we've had with people reaching out to us about this project. And I do really believe that it is because of that factor of, man, that is something unique. There's some creativity. In Kansas City, we have a lot of arts, right? Like somebody's looking at it and saying, maybe I can make it into an art kind of deco kind of hotel. Look at the outside of it. It is a unique, cool building, and there's a theater right next door to it. So very excited about, the conversations that we have been having in regards to this. Now, we've also been, going through a big change in regards to some legislation here recently with the One Big Beautiful Bill. And the qualified opportunity zone advantages, right? There's the ability to have tax deferred capital gains. You got to hold that for 10 years, right? And, I think that's something to kind of consider if you are looking for an opportunity to really have a tax incentivized deal and deferring those capital gains. Here is a great opportunity that's kind of teed up for you. So if you are a qualified opportunity zone investor or developer looking for a project, this might be one for you to dive into a little bit further. So next steps, I'm putting this up on the screen right now. Make sure to go over to Crexy and check out the listing here. It's on LinkedIn as well. You can find it on all of our newsletters. You can go to mwcreadvisors.com, hit listings. It's going to be the first one that pops up. All of the information that you need is going to be available to that for that. If you are interested in looking at the pro forma and more architectural documents and plans, do reach out to Nick or myself. We have those available to you, and we're happy to share those with you. Now, let's get to some questions, Nick. We like to keep our deal spotlights right around 30 minutes. So we got 5-6 minutes on some questions here that came through. So, in regards to the timeline and kind of cost to complete the rest of the hotel redevelopment project, what insights do we have in regards to that?
As far as the current, we talked through the 30%. The typical timeline, it depends on the GC, but with it being 30% completed, you could definitely get it done within 12 months, even sooner than that. Like I said before, there's about a $2 million. $2 million is what's left on the table as far as the construction. So the timeline can be anywhere from 6 to 12 months, depending on having the right GC come in and finish it up.
Yeah, most definitely. Excellent. In regards to if we're going to take this to a multifamily deal or maybe a hybrid approach, are there any things that the investors or developers should be thinking about in regards to some of these tax benefits or historical tax credits that we have been talking about, right? These layered incentives, are they specifically for a hospitality use, or what can that actually be changed into?
So with the tax credits, they can be syndicated or sold. So they can be transferred if they wanted to keep them. If they didn't, they could be transferred or sold. And typically that's done to institutional or high net worth buyers, because they're seeking tax offsets. But it's a pretty common strategy to help monetize credits and raise equity for the projects. So, but they do have both options there. They can either hold on to them or transfer them or sell them. So
excellent. Rock on, man. Okay, so in regards to any short-term rental regulations in Hutchinson, Kansas, how would somebody be thinking about that? I mean, I got to imagine, since the deal is approved for a hospitality property, we're probably not running up against anything. And I imagine folks are hearing stories about their neighborhoods or their areas, being redlined for short-term rentals. And I totally understand that. But with the approved use for this building, one way that we have seen this in the past kind of get around this is be truly a hospitality zoned and approved property. And there are no short-term regulations on that. Am I speaking about that correctly for this project?
You're absolutely correct. So it's considered a friendly market for short-term rentals, or STRs, at least as far as 2025 goes. But there are no citywide bans or moratoriums in place. So once again, it's up to the developer on how they want to segment as far as how many rooms and whatnot. But it's definitely a friendly market for that.
All right, awesome. One last question. Since it is a historical tax credit project, right? I know there's some design or at least historic preservation type of restrictions that need to be worked within. What do those look like for this project?
Oh, say that again. You kind of broke up. Sorry.
Well, in regards to being a historic tax credit deal, we know that there's usually some historic preservation restrictions that you have to work within. I mean, what guidelines do the developers need to be thinking about in regards to the type of materials or the way that the building looks, anything like that, in regards to being in line with the historic tax credit kind of preservation restrictions?
Well, they qualify the tax benefits. Well, it depends. So the exterior of the building and the facade is already completed. So from an exterior perspective, they have no issues, no worries whatsoever. So all that's been done, it's in place. So they have nothing to worry about from that perspective. It's all interior. So everything is ready to go from that perspective.
Awesome, guys. This is built in 1910, originally a commercial building. It's being converted into a 23-suite boutique hotel. You got 2 ground floor kind of retail restaurant bays. It's located directly across from the historic Fox Theater in the heart of the downtown Hutchinson, a very walkable entertainment and cultural district. We've talked about the different tourism drivers that drive into Hutchinson and bring people to the market. 30% of the construction has already been completed, including a lot of the hard stuff, the structural work, a lot of the utility infrastructure. You have city-approved stamped architectural plans. The property includes a dedicated parking lot on East Sherman Street. The zoning is flexible. It's C5 downtown commercial, so it allows for multiple uses beyond hotels. You have multiple exit strategies in regards to a hotel, a multifamily conversion, or even a mixed use or short-term rental type of properties. Layer on top of that kind of the triple stack of powerful incentives that we have talked about in regards to historic tax credits, the qualified opportunity zone, the potential tax abatements, as well as the rural housing incentive districts. And man, oh man, there is a lot of ways to be able to think about this creative deal. Don't forget that the Kansas State Fair draws over 328,000 annual visitors. It is ripe for development. People want to see this being completed. And we think this is a really interesting, creative, financially feasible project. So if you would like to learn more about it, make sure to head on over to our Crexy link. You can find it here. You can find it on our website, which I'm going to share that here as well. mwcreadvisors.com. Just click on the listings right there. If you want more information in regards to the construction build out, the pro forma, or any of the architectural stamped plans that we have, do reach out to Nick or myself. We'd be happy to have a conversation with you. We are fielding conversations on this deal on a regular basis. So we think that this project's going to get gobbled up here sometime this month. We're really just trying to find the right developer for this project, right? Because it is a complex scenario. There's a lot of different moving parts. And so, you have to be able to work through each one of those component parts. But if you do, and we talk about this a lot here on this show and with investors, if you're willing to kind of put in that work and figure those brain damaging things out up front, you can really have a lucrative project on the back end. So definitely reach out to us, mwcreadvisors.com. You can find all of our listings there on LinkedIn, on Crexy, or on LoopNet. And we just are very excited about this project. Nick, do you have any closing thoughts on this deal that you would like to leave both folks with?
I mean, just to echo everything you said with the multiple layers and as far as incentives that are being thrown at this, plus the uniqueness of it being downtown and there not being anything close to it as far as being boutique offering and the historical aspect of things. It's just it's right for the right developer to come in and take it to completion. But yeah, it's a beautiful building and in a unique situation in downtown Hutch. So
most definitely. Well, thank you all again for tuning in to another episode of the Kansas City Commercial Real Estate Market Pulse, sponsored by Midwest Commercial Real Estate Advisors, your full service brokerage in regards to land, retail, industrial, multifamily, hospitality, anything that you need support with. Please do reach out to us. You can find us at mwcreadvisors.com. Nick, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you again here next week. Have a great day.
See you, man.